Hello, Find Your ID NYC. My name is Natalie Benoit, and I'm here again hosting another after hours segment following our Sunday night PYNK Talks. Tonight, I am joined by a beautifully talented singer, musician who is joining me all the way down south while I'm here up in New Jersey. Everyone say hello to Somalia. Woo! I wish you had a live audience to give you the round of applause you deserve. How are you doing
This
tonight?
girl is so cool. I feel their energy from the seeing me perform just a few minutes ago. But I'm doing so well. How are you?
Good, surviving through the pandemic, trying to keep things interesting. Happy I get to be here with you tonight to learn so much more about music and about everything that you're doing right now. So thank you again for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Natalie.
Oh, we love you. No worries, girl. So one of the first things I have to know is obviously you released your song Mimosa, and I'm just curious, are mimosas your favorite drink?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say that mimosas are my second favorite drink. I think I'm more so of like a Malibu rum kind of girl with like some pineapple. But I do love me a good mimosa at Sunday brunch. So
Yes, exactly. I know it's Sunday night, but if it was Sunday brunch, we could be here having mimosa, celebrating, listening to mimosa play in the background with the one and only Somalia.
yes.
I love
Yes.
it. Now, I know that you talked about the song a little bit during the PYNK Talks, and you did mention that you had a lot of creative choice during the process of creating the music video, which is up on YouTube for everybody wondering. But when it came to those outfit changes, you had 3 stunning outfits. How did you get those looks to come together?
Ooh, so I've always been a lover of clothes. Some people love bags, some people love shoes. Like clothes is my thing. So I
Right.
knew that I wanted it to be like this kind of 70s Diana Ross, Minnie Riperton vibe. And so I just started looking through different sites, I love jumpsuits. So you see the first outfit is like me in a sequence jumpsuit. So I looked at jumpsuits. I looked at, bell bottom jeans that, things that would fit, curvaceous women, but also like had the 70s look. So you see that. And then you also see like just this kind of glamorous glimpse, here and there, because it makes me think about like, like when you would see Diana Ross with sequins and,
Yes, that was
furs and big, really glamorous things. So I really wanted to try to encapsulate that different vibe and those different looks into the one video. And so, yeah, it happened to really come together. And I love my dancers that were in it. They were so like funky and groovy with the hair and everything. So it really came together. But yeah, I was like, these clothes have to be perfect. Like they have to like
right.
bring out this modern but also 70s vibe.
Love it. And when it comes to your other looks and outfits for your performances, is there a stylist? Is there a team? Or is it all just in your creative mind where you're like, I like this piece with this piece, let's wear it for tonight? How does that happen for every live performance?
Yeah, so I think it kind of depends on the type of show that it is. So
Right.
if it's, something that's like performing at home, I did a couple of shows. Like one was like a wind down. So I had on like this really nice robe that my brother got me one day from, I think he got it from like Topshop, and I hadn't wore it. And I was like, okay, this is like chill. Like it's, you're kind of at home. So it really just depends on the vibe and like the type of event it is.
Mm,
Of course, if it's something like a regular, like a music festival or something like that, I want to wear something that I'm comfortable with moving around the stage
right.
in. I've never been a fan of putting on outfits where I just look cute and I can't like
You can
dance. 'Cause
function.
I love to dance. I love to interact with the audience. I want to just be able to do whatever I feel. And outfits have to be able to accommodate that and not make me feel restricted. So that's kind of how I decide what type of outfits I want to wear.
That's great. So comes first.
Comfort, it's always first for me. Like I have
God,
to feel like free. And
yes, important. So when you're shopping, what are some of your favorite brands or stores to pull pieces from? You mentioned Topshop.
Yes. Uh-oh.
There you go. You're
Yeah, I was like, it was moving. Okay, yeah, but I love this website called Shein. Some people have probably seen some. You probably see some ads on Instagram. Like,
Is
I
it,
just love that site.
yeah, is it SHEIN?
Yes,
That okay.
Shein, really great site.
I've heard so many different ways of pronouncing it. Okay. I've heard that one. Yes.
Yes, that's really my main, probably my main. I still do like Forever 21. I'm a
Mhm.
huge thrifter, so a lot of the clothes I have, I'm at Goodwill. There's another store that's in Atlanta called Ragarama, and that's another like thrift, like consignment, but it's more so tailored towards a little bit hipster-ish. But it's like
I
you
love
can
it.
find a rack with like all sequence dresses, or you could find a rack with like bell-bottom jeans, or just different things. So I'm a huge thrifter. I love Shein .com. I think I got another outfit for the video from like Akira.com. So I'm very much so on like these different sites trying out different things. I'm like, what's the different
You
kind of
know,
look? I can match that with that. I piece everything together in different things. So
nice. That's awesome. So you've performed for a lot of live concerts. How do you prepare your voice in the days leading up for that performance and even the day of?
yeah, so you said how do I prepare my vocals for
Uh,
the performance and leading up to it? Yeah, so I'm absolutely an advocate of doing warm ups. So you'll see me, I'm typically trying to warm up like hours before a show,
nice.
just so that my vocals are kind of set into what it is exactly that I'm gonna make it do later on. So I'm very much so I'm doing warm ups. I try to take care of myself in terms of like eating well, like the
Mhm.
day of a show or even like leading up to shows, because your voice is a part of your body. So if your body is not feeling it, your voice might not feel it either. And you
Right.
want it to be like, in tip top shape, and to be able to feel and move with you. So I'm making sure that whatever I'm eating like the day of is something that's going to make me feel good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I do my warm ups, and I practice my songs, before I perform, and just try to make myself feel, like I said, comfort is always first. So even
Right.
when you're like super nervous, like if you're confident in everything that you've been practicing, then you don't have to hurry up to try to get ready when it's time to do a show. So
Exactly. So when it comes to preparing your voice, I feel like, and I'm assuming that you take great care of it, like you said, you don't, I'm sure you're not at concerts screaming to the top of your lungs because you're going to damage your voice.
exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Another question I wanted to ask you was, how do you continuously find events and venues to perform at? I know right now with COVID, things might be a little more difficult, but beforehand, were you able to just, like, let me connect with this person on Instagram, or, let me reach out through email? How did you kind of navigate all that?
I think some of my performances came that way, but honestly, most of them have come from someone who saw me perform somewhere else. And then they say, like, oh, maybe if it's a promoter, they might say, like, I have this one place that I do shows on a Wednesday night. You should come through and do a set. Or it could be another artist that, I've performed with in the past or I've collaborated with. And they say, like, I'm doing a show at this place. They have indie artists, so maybe you should try to reach out to them and, let them know, since, you know me, things like that. It's very much so like, connection based.
I feel like that's the biggest thing in every industry. It's like your network. You never want to, end a relationship in a bad way because you never know how that's going to come back to you.
Absolutely. And you have your times where you might bump heads with someone, but I think it's important to just know that you try to handle it in the best way that you can. And, hopefully if you all happen to work together again, it will be something that, you both have an understanding of what exactly happened and how we can move past it. So, mhm.
Exactly. Your platform is getting bigger and bigger. You're accomplishing more every day. So what advice do you have for people singers especially, who are starting out in a big city like Atlanta? They're completely new to it all, but they're like, I have a dream and I want to pursue it.
Yeah, so like we were just saying, like, your network is your net worth. So like
Mhm.
you have to get out here, you have to go to different events. Like sometimes I'll go to like when we were going to events, I would go to like a women in music event. They would have like different talks about being a writer or like learning about publishing or learning about like recording from home, things like that. Like you want
Right,
to be out, you want to try to go to as many things as you can so that you can build your network. You don't want to stress yourself out about it to the point where you're like, oh, I haven't met anybody. Like, I feel
right,
like we are in the South, so naturally people will be open to talking to you. And like sometimes you might be like, oh, okay, I didn't, this event, I might not have come out with everything that I thought I was going to come out with, but there's always something that's different. Like, when you go to an event in Atlanta, whether it's dealing with music, because we are one of the music hubs, like
yeah,
there's always something. It might not be exactly what you wanted, but you have to just realize that sometimes things that you thought were supposed to happen like might come back around and you're like, oh, that one person I met, that one person I met at that event helped me to get a show, help
yeah,
me to record an album. You never know. So yeah, you just want to get out there. Just try to meet people, and if someone invites you to something, you're able to go. Like you
yeah,
never know like what that relationship could lead to.
definitely. And another big question is you have a history, obviously, working in music and songwriting. So could you speak to a time when things did not go according to plan and you had to improvise or just last minute for a performance? I'm sure that was a little nerve-wracking.
Ooh, yeah. Um, I think I've had my times every now and then where it was just like, man, this is tough.
Yeah.
Um, Thinking of one story. Ooh.
Might be a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I
Goodness.
don't
I think 'cause
mind
it's
helping
just
you
been
out.
so, yeah, it's just been a minute.
Yeah.
But I think there's been I won't say, I guess, one specific one, but I know that there's been some times where like you get to the performance and then like you thought like the person was supposed to like cue your music and then like they don't cue your music and you're like kind of just standing up there like, all
Last.
right. That's happened to me before. Like I
Okay.
remember I used to do talent shows all the time, like in school. And there were a couple of times where like I was ready to perform. I was on stage and then
Right.
like my music just like cut off in the middle of the performance.
Oh
And
God.
I'm just standing up there. And me, I'm a performer, so I just kept singing. And
Yes,
like
that's
so the music was like start up and then it would stop and it would start up and then it would stop. But I just kept singing. Like I feel like that's what I was taught when I was learning how to like train my voice. So as
for
a
sure.
performer, you just gotta know that the show must go on and you gotta
Yeah,
keep going regardless of what's happening.
that's yeah, very true. And how do you think the music scene in Georgia maybe differs from other parts of the country? I know you've traveled sometimes to perform your music. What have you seen? What is like the music scene in Georgia or Atlanta specifically like versus another area of the country?
Yeah, I think Atlanta is really cool because it really is sort of like a melting pot. We
Mhm.
have the R&B, we have the hip hop, we have indie soul,
Yeah.
rock, country, all of these different types of artists and genres here. So I think that naturally as an artist, like you just begin to develop an ear that wants to hear all different kinds of elements in your music. And I think that like, opposed to like a place like Nashville where like country music is like the thing,
Mhm.
like I feel like I love Atlanta because it is this big melting pot of various different types of genres of music.
Yes.
And I've been influenced by lots of them, many of them jazz, all kinds of things, especially in being in the South, like jazz is a huge thing. So yeah, we just have a really great environment for like if you want to be able to tap into different types of music, especially like trap too. Like it's
Yeah,
a really nice place to be able to like really tap into
explore.
these different types of sounds and genres.
That's great. And I'm glad to hear that's really helpful because you're not just one genre. You try different things. So I'm sure that brings a lot of inspiration.
Absolutely. I feel like moving forward as an artist, I'm definitely working more towards incorporating various sounds from like I'm not boxing myself in to say like I love R&B. I will absolutely call myself an R&B artist because that's the root of the music that I create. But it absolutely has elements of jazz. It has hip hop. It has funk. It has indie acoustic. So I'm all about like just creating whatever that feels good.
Love it. That's awesome. And of course, the big question, we're living through a crazy time right now with the coronavirus pandemic. So how are you keeping your music career moving forward during the difficult times? I saw that you recently performed somewhere, which is great because I know for a lot of artists and singers right now, that's really hard to do. So it seems like
I
you are.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so right now I am recording. I have a project that I'm hoping will be out in September-ish.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm super excited. Like I'm creating all of the music and the manifestations that I've been doing. Like I feel like it's happening. So during this time, I've been writing, I've been recording. I've done a couple of virtual shows. I was able to perform I performed at a local winery in Georgia, where the city that I'm in. And yeah, like I had mostly family come out, some friends, because it's just like you just want everybody to be safe as much as we want to perform. Like safety is first and health is first. So I would never put anyone in a position where they're like, oh, I just have to support Somalia, so I'm gonna, subject myself to COVID. Like I'm like, we are in this time for, for a reason. And if this is time that we have to slow down to allow the world to evolve, in the way that it is, it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. But I think that I'm just trying to use this time to just make sure that my mind is right. In terms of pushing music, I'm just letting it flow. Like I was saying before, like nothing can be forced. So I've just been recording, performing when I can on your platform. I appreciate it, and just trying to create content, trying to constantly create content.
That's great. And are you releasing a song or is it like an album, an EP? Or are you releasing like several songs?
Yes, so it's going to be an EP. I'm hoping that an album will be coming very soon.
Yeah.
But this project is going to be a EP.
Awesome. And we can expect that sometime in September, hopefully.
Yes,
Okay.
fingers crossed.
Fingers
Sometime in September.
Awesome. And my very last question before we wrap up this amazing segment with you is, if the pandemic wasn't happening right now and you could pick one country or city to perform in, which one would it be and why? In the whole world, where would you would love, like, what would be your dream area to perform?
I studied abroad in London and I absolutely loved it. I studied at the school that James Blake went to because I was like, I don't want to just go abroad and like just party all day long. I was like, I want to go abroad to a music school that I can like learn from these musicians that are in England and they're doing their thing, because there's so many British artists that I love, like Nao, Safa, Leanne LaHavis. So I think I would choose London.
That's
I loved performing there, and I would choose it now because I feel like it would just take me back to the time, the feeling of being in college and just creating music and just being like, this is just where I am at this time. So yeah, I would choose London.
I love it. Well, Somalia, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule right now to not only do the PYNK Talks, but to sit down here with me and do the after hours segment. It has been such a pleasure to have you, and I'm so excited to see the music listening to the music you'll be releasing in September.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Natalie, and thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate you for opening your platform to me and just supporting indie artists because it means so much.
Yes, snap to that. Thank you all for tuning in to this PYNK Talks After Hours segment for Find Your ID NYC. Stay tuned because we always have content coming out. So thank you all again. Have a great day.